Hello, this is Shirley with Shirley's Journeys. If you are just beginning this video series about our Trafalgar tour of the Christmas markets, be sure you go back and watch the first episode. But you can start now and go back and catch that. You won't miss anything by doing it that way. If you're new to my channel, normally I post videos about cruising, cruise ships, cruise cabins, cruise ports. But we took a little deviation from our usual type of travel with cruising to take the land tour of Austria, Germany, and Switzerland with Trafalgar. If you missed the last video, we went to Vienna in that video and then went to Salzburg and ended up in Munich for the night. Today you're going to see my full day in Munich. This morning I opted to take an optional experience to Dachau. Totally a 180-degree turn from anything Christmassy, of course, but we're here so close, and it's of such historical significance that I would hate to miss it while we're here. The tour members who did not want to attend this tour had the option of sleeping in a little bit this morning because the bus would come back and pick them up after the optional experience was over. I only plan to show you a little bit of this tour. Since it's such a somber experience, we'll go through it rather quickly, so we don't belabor the point and make this video really a downer when we're doing a Christmas markets trip. So if you don't really want to see any of this part, just fast forward through because you're going to enjoy what else we do in Munich. If you're coming on your own, they are open from 9 until 5 and admission to the memorial site is free. The entrance gate has the words which translated means work makes one free or work liberates. We saw the memorial wall and the memorial sculpture, the barracks, the reconstructed interior, and this wide open space is where prisoners would have stood for roll call. We also saw the gas chamber, the fumigation room, and crematoriums. There were many executions here at the camp, but the gas chamber was actually never used here. Several churches have been constructed now on the edges of the property, and this is the monument to all the unknown prisoners. I left this tour with a much greater understanding of the historical significance and a much greater appreciation for all those who have suffered for the lack of political freedom and people that have sacrificed their lives for the cause of freedom. We went back to the hotel to pick up the rest of our group after this tour and headed to downtown Munich. We walked through the city and reached the Marienplatz, which is the main square. Gerwin pointed out the fish fountain, which would be our meeting place after our free time, and escorted us to a viewing spot, just in time for the chiming of the clock and to watch the glockenspiel. The glockenspiel lasts a long time, and it was really crowded here. We opted to find a restaurant and enjoy some lunch. I did stop to watch them make grilled cheese, and that looked mighty tempting, but we decided to seek out a warm indoor restaurant and happened upon Oxengrill. Not sure if that's how you pronounce it. Glad we got there when we did because just a little later the line to get in was incredible. The servers wear traditional German dress and we were seated in a small section near the kitchen and could enjoy watching the food prep, including the pork knuckle rotisserie. You heard me right, a rotisserie full of pork knuckles. I ordered the soup and a platter where I could build my own ham sandwich. My husband ordered the crispy farm duck with red cabbage and potato dumpling. 2 soft drinks and the order came to €57.40. My friend ordered the pork knuckle. It must be an acquired taste. He said it was one and done for him. Before leaving the restaurant, I took advantage of the restrooms. The women's are Damen and the men's Herren. Always glad for pictures on restroom doors to know for sure which is which. After lunch and the meetup time, some of the group went on a tour with a guide to talk about the local traditions here in Germany and see some of the local landmarks. I really wanted to spend my time actually fully exploring the Christmas markets here in Munich. I have a separate video about all the markets going into detail, but it was great to spend some leisurely time walking around the markets and enjoying it with a friend. When we got back to our hotel this evening, Trafalgar had an optional experience you could book that was to dinner at a local beer hall, but we wanted to experience our own dinner at a local restaurant, maybe in more of a residential area, just to experience local life a little bit more. We chose to take an Uber to a local restaurant, Augustiner Spiegelwirt. I don't have to pronounce well to eat well, but I was very thankful for Google Translate as they did not offer any English menus. Our 2 schnitzels with fries, water, and Coke came to 50–80 euro. And it took a long time for us to get an Uber to get back to our hotel. Hindsight, maybe it would have been better if we had just walked to one of the German restaurants near our hotel, but the experience was really fun. On Sunday, we packed up to leave Munich, and on our way out of town, we made a lovely surprise side trip that wasn't on our agenda. We stopped at this palace given by Ferdinand to his wife after the birth of their son. Since it is Sunday, the palace is closed and there are not many visitors today, so it's the perfect opportunity for this little diversion. The grounds seem to attract a bunch of geese today, and I saw 2 swans enjoying the weather too. This palace is massive. To the right is the orangerium or greenhouse. To the far left used to be the stables, but those have been turned into residences now. Wouldn't it be fun to tell your friends that you live in a palace? We leave the palace and drive for a while through the German countryside, passing homes which have a beautiful view of the mountains to enjoy every day. Our next planned stop is at the town of Oberammergau. And as we get closer, the elevation gets higher and the snow gets deeper. Gerwin gives us a little background information during the drive.
Go back to the year 1632, when the plague hit this part of Germany, and one of the members of Oberammergau died of the plague. So they made a vow. They said, if God spares the village, we will perform a play of Christ's passion, crucifixion and resurrection, and this play will be performed till the end of time. And miraculously, nobody else died from the plague in Oberammergau, whereas in the areas around it, a lot of people died. And the villagers, they kept their promise. In 1634, the performance took place, and that was at the church, which is still there now, but this was very small, and it grew over time.
This is a welcome stop, not only because the town is so beautiful, but because the large theater offers some public restrooms. Our bus parked, and we made our way to door F, where the restrooms are located, before enjoying some free time in the town. Being Sunday, many of the shops are not open. However, I did find a cute little cafe offering sandwiches and desserts and coffee, and another one with desserts, glühwein, and ice cream. Snow coverage was light, but a little slippery in some places, and I was glad to have on my waterproof tennis shoes with good textured soles. Walking up the street, I found this tourist information building. To the right of it was a cute little outdoor market just setting up for the afternoon, and inside the building was an indoor Christmas market. But just wandering around the streets with the gentle layer of snow was just spellbinding with the cute buildings, Christmas displays in the doorfronts, impressive churches, and gorgeous scenery. Every 10 years, the town puts on a passion play during the summer as a thank you to God for sparing the city during the Black Plague. Visitors come from around the world, and it is a major event. The next one is planned for 2030, so mark your calendars and make your reservations well in advance to come in the summer, but coming in the winter certainly has its own charm. We left Oberammergau and started making our way toward Innsbruck for our next stop. What a beautiful city! Our driver drops us off, and Gerwin leads us through some of the narrow business-lined passageways among buildings that are hundreds of years old, and we spill out into the middle of Old Town, and he points out the golden roof. This is the building where our group will meet up after free time today. This is such a great old town to explore. There are lots of whimsical decorations attached to some of the buildings. Here are 2 children fishing with a teapot. I'm not sure if that's a fairy tale. I'm pretty sure this one is the tortoise and the hare. Here's the big bad wolf, Pinocchio with his long nose, Rapunzel with her long hair. There's a goose girl, a leprechaun with a unicorn, and so many more. I spent the majority of my remaining time wandering through 2 of Innsbruck's Christmas markets. We arrived at the Tivoli Hotel in Innsbruck, which is a Hilton Garden Inn, as the sun is setting, and we have enough time to relax a little before dinner is served. When I go back outside to get a picture of the hotel, I see our driver washing the bus. Now that's dedication. Tonight's dinner was included at the hotel, and it was chicken and a mushroom cream sauce with mixed vegetables and rice. Then we were scheduled for a traditional Tyrolean evening with the promise of costumes, dancing, yodeling, and other music. And what fun that was! The singers and dancers and musicians put on a show like none I've ever seen. I have a full tour of this hotel, as well as all of the hotels where we are staying during the Christmas markets trip. And I have a full video tour of the actual markets in Innsbruck as well. So you may want to check out those if you're just itching for more information about our tour that we took today. Tomorrow we will continue our tour. Watch for the third part of my series. This is Shirley with Shirley's Journeys, and I hope all of your journeys are pleasant ones.